Hi, I'm Vanessa.
Hi, I'm Grace.
My name is Colin. Yes.
Have you heard about this painting?
This painting is one of the most famous paintings from one of the existing painters.
Yes, the title of this painting is The Day of the Dead, painted by Dion Rivera.
So, today we will present Diego Rivera's biography. Please look forward to our presentation.
Diego Rivera was a well-known Mexican plastic artist of the 20th century. He was born in Guanajuato and he was an active communist. He is a husband of Frida Kahlo. From an early age, his artistic tendencies were easy to spot. He is considered a draw prodigy. At only 10 years old, he enrolled to study art at the Academia de San Carlos in Mexico City. Rivera completed his studies in 1905 and the following year he exhibited more than 2 dozen paintings at the annual San Carlos Academy Art Show. One of his work from this time is La Era or The Tracing. Display elements of Impressionism in the play of light and shadows and the artist's distinctive use of color. Just like Van Gogh on Impressionism, Diego Rivera's impact on Mexican art is tremendous. Rivera remained a central force in the development of national art in Mexico throughout his life. Perhaps one of his greatest legacies, however, was his impact on America's conception of public art. In depicting scenes of American life on public buildings, Rivera provided the first inspiration for Franklin Delano Roosevelt's WPA program. Of the hundreds of American artists who would find work through the WPA, many continued on to address political concern that has first been publicly present by Rivera. Both his original painting style and the force of his ideas remain major influence on American paintings.
Diego Rivera's art. Paisaje Zapatista in 1915. This 1915 painting marries Rivera's European influences with his devotion to Mexico and increasingly nationalist ideals. A synthetic cubist pastiche of fragmented elements drawn from Mexican indigenous culture, such as sombreros and seraperas, and the country's revolutionary present, like rifles and artillery, fused together and consume the center of the large canvas. Here, Rivera stakes claim to his Mexican identity and allies himself with the Mexican Revolution and the Mexicanidad movement, which derided colonial influence and celebrated traditional Mexican culture and craft. Emphasizing his point, Rivera set his cubist forms against an unspoiled, mountainous landscape, recalling a pre-colonial Mexico, entitled The Piece of the Revolutionary Icon Emiliano Zapata, who led peasant guerrilla forces into battle. The painting simultaneously acknowledges Rivera's adoption of European modernism and predicts the increasingly political content of his future work. The next art that Diego Rivera painted is Detroit Industry in 1932 until 1933 at Detroit Institute of Arts. While Detroit was a flourishing industrial hub at the start of the 20th century, it also experienced fast layoffs during the Great Depressions. When Rivera arrived in the city in 1932, these effects were deeply felt, and the painters again emphasized the plight of workers. On the east wall, Rivera represented agriculture and natural body through image of child nestle between post and border by strapping nude figures. On the north and south walls, he portrayed the blossoming auto industry in depictions of machinery churning molten steel and assembly lines forging candy red cars, and on the west wall, he expressed what he saw as the dangers of technology, tools of wars that could lead to humanity's self-destructions.
Diego Rivera arts that amaze us, The Flower Carrier. In 1935, Diego Rivera masterfully created The Flower Carrier. Like many of Rivera's paintings, this art amazes us because Flower Carrier imparts simplicity and sense about symbolism and meaning. Things that amazes from this painting is the colorful side of this painting. So it's a peasant man in white with a yellow in his hat and sling. We can also see the meaning of this painting where the man is struggling towards a basket. A flower is strapped to his leg, and there's a woman that stands behind him trying to help with the upper support of the basket. As he attempts to rise to his feet while the flowers are secondly beautiful to pure, Rivera does not see that their beauty, but only their value as he carries them to the market for sale or exchange. Besides, the meaning of the painting is that amazed us. We also, by the Hemingway's technique and method that Rivera uses, we can see it from the geometric shapes of a bold and intense contrast with each figure, items, and foliage is illustrated with individualism. Rivera's personal touch with us. Rivera's characteristic works. His image as a supporter of socialist ideology, he expresses in the struggle of the class and the workers, and the exploitation of the countryside. This is one of the reasons we chose Rivera. He feels the nature and purpose of what he has in painting the paintings that he has where the nature of him who really cares about the workers creates a personal touch with us, because we know that not all painters or he will usually have a noble heart in supporting socialist ideology, and this is also not an easy thing to do.